Hey everybody, it's Nicole or Nikki Bricks here, and today we're going to be taking a look at what could possibly be my favorite Harry Potter summer set, and that is the Hogsmeade Village Visit. I just adore this set. This is one I always hoped we'd get, especially because of Honeydukes there. And while I did hope we would get at least one more build to go with Honeydukes and the 3 Broomsticks, I can definitely appreciate that for Hogsmeade we wanted to produce a more affordable product, and in my opinion it still looks amazing. There are of course a few things lacking, but in general it's quite honestly a great set, so we're just gonna jump right into it and like always start out by taking a look at those minifigures. So our first minifigure here is Harry Potter, and naturally, he is the least impressive. It's just the way that it goes in these sets. I don't know why, but even when you get a set like Hogsmeade, you would expect them to do something special like give him the invisibility cloak, or at the very least, give him an appropriate outfit that he wore in one of the movies. For example, in this scene, if not with the invisibility cloak, which by the way I think was a huge missed opportunity for this figure, we should have at least gone for that maroon sweater and black jacket that he wore in this scene where he finds out that Sirius Black is his godfather. Sorry for spoilers, but this movie's been out for a long time. But no, we decided to go for the same classic t-shirt, blue jacket, and this time black pants, which is just fine. There's no interesting back printing. There is a little crease just to give it a little bit of detail, and that's okay. For this set, I just think we really threw away a great opportunity to do something special, and I'm pretty upset about it. I think this is one of the most disappointing Harry Potter minifigures we've gotten for that reason. But anyway, he does also have 2 face printings. On the back side, he has, of course, a more angry expression because he's not very happy in the scene, so at least we got that right. But I did choose to display him with a more smiley face, just because I liked it a little bit better. Next up here, we have a much more appropriately dressed character, and that is Dean Thomas. He's wearing a red sweater with a really cool multicolored vest. I love the detail that they gave this minifigure. I mean, this vest just looks really good, and I know that they've kind of used this style before on a lot of just the Lego City sets, but I think it looks amazing. He's also wearing blue gloves that look really good, and I really love the zipper printing down the front of his torso. The hairpiece for this character is also very good. I think it's really accurate to the hair the actor in the movie has, and it was a really appropriate choice. I also think they did really good with his face printing. On the front side, he does have this more smiley look to him, and on the back side, we have this kind of smirk that I like because he does eventually end up dating Ginny in the series. So I think it's just nice to have this expression on Dean Thomas in general. For whatever reason, I just really like this minifigure, and I think it has a lot to do with this vest and the fact that he's wearing blue gloves. But I think Lego did a really good job with him. Next up here, we have McGonagall, and I really like this minifigure. I think that her robes or dress or whatever it is that she's wearing looks really good. I especially love this brooch clasp piece that she's got here, kind of holding it all together. I think it's a really interesting look. The only downside is that there's no printing down the back end of her skirt, but the back does have printing here, as well as a hood, and it does look good enough to me. She does have a second face printing, just her casual, frown that McGonagall is always wearing. And on the front side, she does have that more smiley face, which I decided to display because most of my McGonagalls are frowning, and I just decided to switch it up a little bit. But again, I really do just love the printing on her robes, especially when they add this kind of metallic shine to it. I don't really know what that is, but I think it adds a lot to these figures, and it kind of makes them a little bit more special, so I do really love that they gave that to McGonagall in this set. Next up here, we have probably another one of my favorites in this set, and that is Madame Rosmerta, and quite honestly, it's because of this hammer piece. Is it bad that my first thought when I saw this hammer, literally when I opened the bag to build this minifigure, was, oh my gosh, this is what they're gonna give the armorer in the new Mandalorian armorer set. Tell me this is not literally the hammer she's going to have. I am so excited for that set, you guys. Okay, tangent, my bad. Anyway, Madame Rosmerta does look really good. I really love this torso printing, especially that necklace, and the way that you can really see the detail in this leather vest that she's wearing. I also really like her hairpiece. I think it's so fitting, and it's so nice to have a hairpiece like that. I just think it looks so good. Her face printing is also really well matched to this character, and what's funny is this is actually the same face printing that they used for Bellatrix, I believe. At least that's what it looks like to me, especially when you see this other side. And what's funny is, to me, this just looks like Madame Rosmerta. It doesn't even look like Bellatrix. It looks like the scene when she's yelling about Dementors coming into her pub every other night. I mean, it's such a fitting face for this character, and I think they just did such a good job. She is probably one of my favorites in the set, and I'm really happy that they included her. Next up here, we have Mrs. Flume from Honeydukes, and she is adorable. I love the colors on this minifigure. I was probably the most surprised to see that not only did we get Mrs. Flume, but also Mr. Flume in this set, mostly because I barely even remember these characters from the books. I mean, I know that they had a slight involvement in the books, but honestly, I just don't even remember. But I'm not complaining. I think it's really fun when we get out of the park minifigures for sets, especially because we don't really get that in LEGO Star Wars. It's much more common to get a wide variety in LEGO Harry Potter, so I will never complain about that. I think the creators really had a lot of free reign when it came to designing her outfit, and I love that we went for something bold and pink and kind of fun. If you look really closely, it's really adorable. The printing on this pink vest that she's wearing on both the front and the back side of this character are little white candy pieces, and they're just so adorable. They look kind of like those little red and white Christmas peppermints that you get, but they're just white and pink, and I just love it. The design for this character was so cute. I also really like the apron printing on her legs in the front here. I think that's really good, and it kind of alludes to the fact that she's probably often in the back making candy. Her face printing is the same one that Molly Weasley gets, and I believe also Helga Hufflepuff in the micro-scale Harry Potter castle. On the front, you do get this smiley face, and on the back, kind of a more gentle smile. They both look really cute. I just like this more smiley one for her because she's happy, she's a candy lady. It's what she does. And to go with her, we cannot forget Mr. Flume, who is very adorably wearing a purple hat to match her minifigure. As a pair, they just look really, really cute together. I love the fact that they're matching. Another thing I did notice about this character is that he is wearing a Gryffindor scarf, and if you look on the back here, you can see that they really wanted to show that, and they even printed a little bit here around the neck. Other than that, pretty basic back printing, but that's okay, because with the hat and the Gryffindor scarf, honestly, that is enough for me. I think they did really good with this figure. Other than that, he is wearing a tan jacket and a brown vest underneath, and of course, he also comes with two sides of face printing. On this side, a more sweet and gentle smile, and on the back side, you can really see how cold he is. This face is very obviously displaying that he's shivering or blowing out cold air. It's just really, really adorable. I love that they included these figures. Last but not least, we have our golden figure, and in this set you do get Golden Ron, and he is a very good looking golden figure. Most notably with all the golden figures, you do get the 20 years of LEGO Harry Potter printing on the back. That is really the most special part about them. Of course, you do get a golden wand as well, and they are pretty cool. With Golden Ron, you do get a slightly different face and uniform printing on the front here, aside from the fact that, yes, they are painted completely gold. It is mainly his eyes on the face, I think, and also this torso printing with the Hogwarts logo on the front. The face printing is mostly the same, it's just a slight variation from what we've normally gotten, and notably with all the golden figures, you don't ever get two face printings, just the one, but that makes sense. I mean, these are little display pieces. You're not really going to be playing around with them, so you don't really need that play feature. So as you get with most of the Summer Wave sets, there are included 4 chocolate cards in the Hogsmeade set. And these are actually my first chocolate cards, as this is the first anniversary set that I've gotten this wave. And I've heard that people have been getting a lot of repeats. Luckily, that didn't happen to me, and I think I actually got some pretty interesting ones, so I am happy about that. As you can see, I did get the Golden Dumbledore Chocolate Frog card, the Platinum Dumbledore, McGonagall, and Garrick Ollivander. And Ollivander's was one that really stumped me for a while, because if you look at this sheet that I pulled out of my instruction pamphlet, and yes, you can chastise me for that later, there is a huge misprint on apparently all of the instruction manuals that shows Ollivander and Ravenclaw as the exact same Chocolate Frog card. So I was literally staring at this for the longest time trying to figure out which one it was, until I finally looked it up and realized that this is a huge misprint. So ignoring this wizard card guide in general, the way that you can tell the difference is that if you get Ravenclaw, she will actually come with a diadem, even though it is not printed on this card. So I did in fact get Ollivander in this set, and I'm okay with that because I did also get this Platinum Dumbledore, and I think that that's a special one, so that's cool. I'm not quite sure if any of these are more rare than other ones. To be quite honest, I'm not exactly excited about these Chocolate Frog cards. I mean, they're cool and they're fun, and hopefully just by chance I'll collect them all. I don't think that's very likely because, again, people have been saying they've been getting a lot of repeats. But as far as my first round goes, getting both Dumbledores, a McGonagall, and an Ollivander, I'm pretty happy with that. So our first build that we're going to be taking a look at is the 3 Broomsticks, but before we really get into it, I first wanted to take a look at the few side builds that you get in this set. The first of them being the Have You Seen This Wizard sign. So I definitely love the inclusion of this "Have you seen this wizard" poster. It's actually Sirius Black, and you have 2 sticker pieces that you apply on either side of this glass panel. And if you look closely, you can see that they're actually different. On this side, you have Sirius Black screaming because he's a madman. And on the front side that I have displayed most of the time, he's just kind of frowning and generally peeved at the fact that he's, in Azkaban and wrongfully accused of murdering his best friends. You basically just assemble this little snowy platform and a sign, and then you put the sticker pieces on either side of the clear window. And to top it off, you add a couple of slope pieces on top just to give it a more snowy look. I think it was a really cool detail that they added, and it adds a lot to this build. The next 2 builds you get, I don't really think you need to see in detail. It's just a lamppost and a little bench. But to be fair, I do really love the way that they covered these in snow. I think it was a really, really nice design tactic. And just having these little details like this just makes the set really come together, and it brings a lot of life to it, so I definitely appreciate that. So now moving those aside and just focusing on the overall look of the Three Broomsticks Tavern, I think this is a very impressive build. It's not very big. There were definitely some really interesting build techniques, especially with the way that they have you stick these window pieces in coming through the roofs. And I really love that the Three Broomsticks in general just looks very comfortable, very snowy Alps. And I love the way that they captured that this is basically just your go-to everyday wizarding pub where you grab a cup of butterbeer and hang out with some friends, and it's a very chill environment. So overall, I think it does look very, very good. And if we zoom in just a little bit more, you can see that the front of this build does have some gold antlers just for some decoration, and the Three Broomsticks logo right there that are just 3 brooms kind of lined up in a triangle shape. And on either sides of the door, you have a lamp on this side, and on this side you have a sign that I assume is the one that Madame Rosmerta is hanging up on the outside of her pub. And with this more zoomed in angle, you can really see all the nice, very simple details that were added in. For example, the golden windows look really, really good, and so do those snowy outlines around the window pieces. I just think that the design of this is just really well done. Now, taking a look at the inside of the tavern, I will again say that the inside of this build is much more impressive than Honeydukes. So starting off with the upstairs area, this is where McGonagall and Madame Rosmerta kind of hang out and discuss that Sirius Black is Harry Potter's godfather and they need to watch out for him. And I really love that we tried to make that scene come to life. I mean, you can see we added a few decorations. There is the fireplace in the back there, just a simple silver cup hanging out on the ledge by the window. And this is what I assume is mistletoe. If I remember correctly, it is around Christmas time in the scene, so maybe this was just like a little Easter egg they threw in there for that. On this side of the build, you can see that there is a green chair and just a simple sign, what looks to be another Three Broomsticks decoration. And on this side, just some more simple shelves and a piece of art here. This is a really, really dark sticker piece, and it's so dark that my camera's having trouble focusing on it. But essentially, it's just what I assume is Hogsmeade at night. You can see the silhouette of a bunch of buildings and the moon and a lot of stars. It's actually really pretty, but again, super dark. You can't really tell what's going on. And on the top here, I guess you can see that there's no real proper roof to the Three Broomsticks, even in the upstairs private residence. There are just a couple of pieces of plywood that just kind of float above, so you can see right into the roof where I'm sure a bunch of bats are just casually hanging out. So the actual tavern itself is again really cute. Just right off the bat, a few things stick out. You do only get 1 table, which is a shame, and of course a croissant. Those just seem like a common snack that we have in the Great Hall and in any Harry Potter set that you get. There's also a silver cup back here and a mug of butterbeer with the white foam that I totally love that they've been doing ever since the second series of the Harry Potter CMFs where Ron and Hermione came with those butterbeer mugs. There's another piece of art in the back there, just a random wizard who I can't figure out if that's a specific character, but he's got a ginger beard and he just looks to be enjoying himself at the pub. And on the right side here we have a sticker piece. There's a sign that says butterbeer, a couple of posters of broomsticks, and just some added detailing. Now moving on to the other side of the Three Broomsticks, we have the cash register, and on top of the cash register you have another butterbeer mug with the foam on top, just a green glass upside down, and a candle. Behind that you have another sticker piece, one of my favorites in this set actually, and that is specifically because of the pumpkin juice. You can see that on the top shelf here, there's just a few hanging out there. There's one in the corner as well. I would have killed to have gotten like an actual pumpkin juice glass print or something like that. I even would have settled for just wrapping a little sticker piece around a glass. I love pumpkin juice. It would have been really cute, but I will settle for the fact that we did just get it on a sticker piece. And of course, there is another poster of a broom on the wall there. So in general, it is definitely a very simple build, but I really like the way that it was designed, and I think that they did an excellent job with the 3 broomsticks. Next up here, we have Honeydukes, which is definitely the build that I was the most excited for in this set, and unfortunately, the one that people are the most upset with. So personally, I'm not gonna lie, I can see that this set is a little bit small. It's not as big as people were expecting, and that's because they really want it to look like Honeydukes, which I definitely understand. But given the price point and given the way that they were able to put it together and kind of shrink it down, I genuinely like it. I think it's a great build, and it's not that small. I mean, quite honestly, the most frustrating part about this was having to put on these sticker pieces because, yes, all these window panels right here are sticker pieces. And I have a thing about applying those transparent stickers because you cannot make mistakes. If you yank them off, it'll leave a trail and it looks horrible. That was very, very stressful, but luckily I managed to do it okay. So just be prepared for that if you do get into this set. Of course, the sign at the front of the shop is also a sticker piece that says Honeydukes. And honestly, you guys, I think that's really cute. Again, I know it's not that big, but this design looks very complete to me. It doesn't look like it needs that much more. If you were gonna expand it, you would really just have this building twice, and I don't know if I have space to just have this same building twice. So again, you do apply these sticker pieces on here. Very stressful, good luck. But I do like that you can see right into the shop, and they did try to layer some candy into the windows there so that you can see kind of all the fun that's going on. At the foot of the door there are a couple of flat tile pieces with studs in them so that you can stick your minifigures in there and they can stand or walk out of Honeydukes, which is pretty cool. And you just have your classic clip-in door, nothing special there. But again, for me, what really shines when you look at the front of this building are those window pieces. Of course, at the top of the build there, you do get this extra long roof, and just the way that they have you layer these flat tiles of snow around, it looks really good. I kind of wish, though, that it did continue just along this upper area here, and maybe if you had just some drizzling down the top side of the chimneys, that would have looked really good as well. And I think just for fun, maybe an owl or some sort of critter to just kind of pop on like right there would have been really cute. A cat would have been perfect. But anyway, in general, they did do a pretty cute job with this build. Now, taking a look at the inside here, this is unfortunately where it does get a little bit more disappointing. We're just gonna start off with the top here because it is the most sad part of this build. So here we are on the inside of Honeydukes, the most fun, most colorful and exciting candy shop in the world, and we have nothing going on upstairs. Apparently, we decided to use this space not to add an extra story, which I know would not have been accurate, but I mean, come on, we should have used the space better at least. Instead, we made it into a storage unit, and I don't even want to bother with showing you because there's nothing there, but I'm going to anyway. So first off, you do get this empty yellow box. There is nothing in it. You just apply these sticker pieces that say Honeydukes on both sides of the box. And yeah, it's empty, no cookies or anything. Behind that, you can see you get a red pail, and over in the corner there is just a black cooking pot. Up on top here, we did decide to add some color, although I'm not really sure what those are supposed to be. Just to be frank, it's a very, very disappointing design what we did at the top here. Now, the bottom is another story, and I am definitely much more pleased with it, but this is where I can kind of agree with the point that this set was not big enough. You know what we should have done is we should have just made this a longer and flatter build. It didn't even need to be 2 stories. Just to have this build be longer so we had more space for all the stuff shoved in there. But anyway, what we have here is essentially a very, very squeezed in version of Honeydukes. I do really love the 90s tiles that we have on the floor, the black and white with studs in it so that your minifigures can stand in there. There's room for Mr. or Mrs. Flume to stand behind the cash register and for some characters to just kind of wander around the candy store. So on the right side of the shop here, we have a lot of little candies, lots of lollipops. Let me just move this little piece for now. So as you can see, we did a decent enough job of trying to pack in enough candy. There are lollipops, acid pops, I think that's popcorn, just a couple of sparkly little pieces of candy miscellaneous strewn about, and what I assume is a chocolate fountain. I wish that we had added like another dome piece, just a little brown dome piece on top there, just to kind of make it look like it were flowing more. It looks like they meant to put something in there and just kind of left it out. The sticker piece in the back is my favorite. It's adorable. Just a bunch of colorful jars filled with all these different kinds of candy. And now back to the middle where I kind of yanked a prop out of there. You get this fun little candy machine that we see some of the characters and extras in the movies playing with and getting candy out of from time to time. On this side, you have some sort of wizard with, I think, goblins? I don't know what those are. I would say that they were the little blue pixies, but they're green, so some sort of wizarding creature. And on this side, you have a skeleton. I personally like this sticker piece better, so this is the one that I display in the shop. And you just stick it right in the middle of your build, just to give it some more dimension, I suppose. Now looking to the left side of Honeydukes, and again, I am going to yank this out. Up in the front here, we have a little cash register, and it does come with another sticker piece on the front so you can see where their characters kind of make their change. And next to that is a little bowl, which I'm assuming is filled with little candies or lollipops. Again, behind the cash register, you just have cupcakes, more acid pops, more popcorn, just miscellaneous candy, and the sticker piece with all the jars full of things. And while it is kind of hard to see what's going on in the display piece back there, there are a couple of cookies, some cherries on display, and I have no idea what this pink thing is. It's some sort of wizarding candy. It kind of looks like there are some sort of balloon candies, and maybe that's what that is, or maybe it's a balloon. I mean, who knows? But I do like that it adds more color and it fills in nicely into the set. And then again, you do just kind of pop in this piece. I like to put it on that black tile there because it's not terribly in the way. And so that is Honeydukes. Now when it comes down to these two builds, honestly you guys, I'm torn because I love Honeydukes. I've always loved Honeydukes. It is my first stop when I go to Universal Studios and visit Harry Potter World. But there are some key things missing. I think for one, they should have included little custom prints of Bertie Bott's Every Flavor beans and custom molds of the chocolate frog boxes. I just think that would have been so cool. It might have been a little bit too above and beyond for Lego. I mean, just, you know, but I would have personally have loved to have seen that, and that would have made it without a doubt my favorite. But I think the 3 broomsticks and the build is just really, really nice. And I can't ignore that the inside is much, much more impressive. I mean, again, doing a little comparison between the two. The fact that we totally ignored this huge space that we could have done so much with. I mean, even making this all candy storage and just having lines and lines of candy shelves, I mean, that would have looked so good. But we turned it into this really ugly mess of nothing. Whereas the 3 broomsticks does actually reflect that scene that we saw in The Prisoner of Azkaban. And so I think I'm gonna have to give it to 3 broomsticks. I think this design was just better than Honeydukes. And unfortunately, that's just the way that it is. Anyway, you guys, I do really hope that you enjoyed this video. I had a really fun time making it because I was really excited about this set. If you guys did enjoy it, it would mean the world to me if you would like, and don't forget to subscribe down below if you're new here. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you have an amazing day, and I will see you next time.